Imagine a moment when technology stops being just tools and becomes full-fledged entities alongside humans. According to the latest data and insider statements, this is exactly the direction Apple is beginning to move toward. A company that for decades has set the standards in the world of smartphones, computers, and wearable devices is now, essentially, taking the most unexpected step in its history, preparing to enter the humanoid robot market. Yes, the very market that until recently seemed niche and experimental is now beginning to turn into one of the most promising industries of the future. And Apple, apparently, does not want to stay on the sidelines. Moreover, according to rumors, the company is already officially considering the development of its own humanoid robot as a long-term strategic project. And this completely changes the balance of power. Because when Apple enters an industry, it does not just participate, it changes the rules of the game. Right now, the humanoid robot market is at the earliest stage of development. Yes, we already see prototypes, demonstrations, the first real use cases, but there is still no mass adoption. Robots have not yet become part of everyday life. They are still perceived as an experiment, as a demonstration of technology, as a future that has not yet arrived. But this is temporary, because the pace of development in this field is now simply enormous. According to analysts, in just the next few years, the humanoid robot market could grow to hundreds of billions of dollars. And this is not just a forecast, it is a logical continuation of what we are already seeing today. Especially if you look at China, it is Chinese companies that are now the absolute leaders in this race. They release dozens of new humanoid robot models almost every month. Different formats, different tasks, different levels of autonomy. From simple service robots to complex humanoids capable of performing physical work, interacting with people and learning in real time. China is betting on scale and speed. They are not afraid to experiment, not afraid to release raw versions, not afraid to move forward, and that is exactly why they are ahead right now. While American companies, despite a strong technological base, are still lagging behind in this race. Yes, they have strong projects. For example, one of the most discussed is Optimus from Tesla, a robot that is already considered one of the most promising in the world. It is being developed with mass production in mind for use in industry, logistics, and in the future, in everyday life. But even despite this, the industry is still in its formative stage, and it is precisely at this moment that Apple appears. A company that historically has been far from robotics suddenly begins to actively explore this direction. And this raises a huge number of questions. Why now? Why humanoid robots? And what exactly is Apple planning to create? According to insiders, we are talking not just about a robot, but about a completely new type of device, designed in the company's signature style. Minimalism, perfect assembly, premium materials, a well-thought-out interface. Everything users love about Apple products is expected to be brought into the world of robotics. But the most important thing is positioning. Unlike many other companies that focus on industrial applications of robots, Apple, according to rumors, wants to create a personal robot. Not just a machine, but an assistant, a companion, a helper, a device that will live next to you, help with everyday tasks, interact, learn, adapt to you. Imagine a robot integrated into the Apple ecosystem. It knows your habits, is synchronized with your iPhone, Mac, Apple Watch. It can remind you about a meeting, make coffee, help with work, hold a conversation, explain a complex topic, or simply be there. This is no longer just a gadget. It is a new type of interaction between humans and technology. And this is where Apple can use its main advantage, the ecosystem. Because no other company in the world has this level of integration between devices and services. And if you add the physical presence of a robot to that, we get a completely new level of user experience. Of course, this project is extremely long-term. According to current information, it may take many years before a full release. Apple is not the kind of company that releases raw products. They can work on a device for 5, 7, or 10 years, perfecting it. And that is exactly why expectations for this project are so high. Because if Apple really releases a humanoid robot, it must not just be good, it must be the best. The best in design, usability, integration, and intelligence. And this is where artificial intelligence comes into play. Because without powerful AI, such a robot simply will not be able to fulfill its role. And considering that Apple is actively developing its own AI technologies, it can be assumed that this robot will be equipped with one of the most advanced artificial intelligence systems in the world. It will understand context, emotions, and behavior. It will learn, it will adapt. And over time, it may become not just an assistant, but a full-fledged digital companion. And this is where we come to the most interesting part, because the emergence of such devices could completely change society. If robots become accessible, if they begin to be used massively, the labor market will change, lifestyles will change, and the very structure of society will change. Robots will be able to perform physical work, assist people, and automate processes. And this will open up enormous opportunities. But at the same time, it will create new challenges. And that is exactly why we are now at the beginning of a very important period, a period in which a new industry is being formed. And Apple, apparently, wants to become one of its key players. In the near future, the company promises to reveal more details. Perhaps these will be the first concepts, perhaps technology demonstrations, perhaps just hints. But even now, it is clear that Apple is serious. And if you take its approach to products into account, you can expect that this robot will become one of the most interesting and widely discussed devices of the future. A device that will not just fit into our lives, but change them. And if you think about it, Apple may be the company that makes humanoid robots truly mainstream. Because one of the main problems of today's robots is not only technology, but also perception. People are not yet ready to percept a robot as part of their lives. They look alien, sometimes frightening, sometimes too technical. But Apple knows how to make technology human. It knows how to turn complex devices into understandable, convenient, and even desirable products. And if the company applies the same approach to robots, we may see a completely new type of device, not cold machines, but something more alive, more friendly, more natural in everyday life. Moreover, Apple may focus not only on functionality, but also on emotions. Imagine a robot that not only executes commands, but understands your mood. It sees that you are tired and offers help. It notices that you are tense and tries to distract you. It adapts to you not only as an assistant, but also as a conversational partner. And this may become the key difference from all competitors, because in the future, the winner will not be the one who makes the strongest or fastest robot, but the one who makes the most human one. And if there is a company capable of implementing such a concept, it is Apple. That is why we may now be witnessing the very beginning of a new era, an era in which every person will have not just a device, but a full-fledged digital companion. And the question is no longer whether this will happen. The only question is when exactly.